Chapter 3. Chapter 3 in the context of the Huaizi as a whole. Coming early in the Huaizi, Chapter 3 emphasizes the interconnectedness of all phenomena and the influence of cosmic cycles on human affairs. The overview of cosmology, astronomy, astrology, and related subjects presented here is intended to be sufficient for a ruler to understand, if not actively participate in, the techniques by which cosmic cycles and correlations are calculated, particularly by means of the cosmograph, and taken into account in the formulation of policy. The essential point is that acts of state must harmonize with celestial patterns and cycles in order to be successful. Chapter 21 of the Huaizi, an overview of the essentials, says of this chapter that it enables a person to possess the means to look upward to heaven and uphold what to follow and thereby avoid disordering heaven's regularities. 21.2. The overview also regards this chapter as part of a subunit of text that includes chapters 4 and 5, and says of them, had we discussed ends and beginnings and not illuminated heaven, earth, and the 4 seasons, you would not know the taboos to avoid. 21.3. Thus even the seemingly esoteric subject matter of this chapter is presented by Liu An and his editors as an essential component of the art of rulership. When heaven and earth were yet unformed, all was ascending and flying, diving and delving. Thus it was called the Grand Inception. The Grand Inception produced the nebulous void. The nebulous void produced space-time. 1. Space-time produced the original QE. A boundary, divided, the original QE. That which was pure and bright spread out to form heaven. That which was heavy and turbid congealed to form earth. It is easy for that which is pure and subtle to converge, but difficult for the heavy and turbid to congeal. Therefore, heaven was completed first. Earth was fixed afterward. The conjoined essences of heaven and earth produced yin and yang. The supersessive essences of yin and yang caused the 4 seasons. The scattered essences of the 4 seasons created the myriad things. The hot QE of accumulated yang produced fire, the essence of fiery QE became the sun. The cold QE of accumulated yin produced water, the essence of watery QE became the moon. The overflowing QE of the essences of the sun and the moon made the stars and planets. To heaven belong the sun, moon, stars, and planets. To earth belong waters and floods, dust and soil. 3/18 / 1823. In ancient times Gong Gong 2 and Zedwa Zhu 3 fought, each seeking to become the Theok. Enraged, they crashed against Mount Buzhao, for heaven's pillars broke. The cords of earth snapped. Heaven tilted in the northwest, and thus the sun and moon, stars, and planets shifted in that direction. Earth became youthful in the southeast, and thus the watery floods and mounding soils subsided in that direction. 3/18 / 2526. 3.2. The way of heaven is called the round. The way of earth is called the square. The square governs the obscure. The circular governs the bright. The bright emits QE, and for this reason fire is the external brilliance of the sun. The obscure sucks in QE, and for this reason water is the internal luminosity of the moon. Emitted QE endows. Retained QE transforms. Thus yang endows and yin transforms. 3/18 / 2830. The unbalanced QE of heaven and earth, becoming perturbed, causes wind. The harmonious QE of heaven and earth, becoming calm, causes rain. When yin and yang rub against each other, 5 their interaction produces thunder. Aroused, they produce thunderclaps. Disordered, they produce mist. When the yang QE prevails, it scatters to make rain and dew. When the yin QE prevails, it freezes to make frost and snow. 3/19 / 12. Hairy and feathered creatures make up the class of flying and walking things and are subject to yang. Creatures with scales and shells make up the class of creeping and hiding things and are subject to yin. The sun is the ruler of yang. Therefore, in spring and summer, animals shed their fur. At the summer solstice, stags' antlers drop off. The moon is the fundament of yin. Therefore when the moon wanes, the brains of fish shrink. When the moon dies, wasps and crabs shrivel up. Fire flies upward. Water flows downward. Thus, the flight of birds is aloft. The movement of fishes is downward. 6/3/19 / 47. Things within the same class mutually move one another. Root and twig mutually respond to each other. Therefore, when the burning mirror sees the sun, it ignites tinder and produces fire. When the square receptacle 7 sees the moon, it moistens and produces water. When the tiger roars, the valley winds rush. When the dragon arises, the bright clouds accumulate. When Quilis wrangle, the sun or moon is eclipsed. When the leviathan dies, comets appear. When silkworms secrete fragmented silk, 8 the shag string of a stringed instrument snaps. When meteors fall, the Huainan surges upward. 3/19 / 9/11. 3.3. The feelings of the rulers of men penetrate to heaven on high. Thus, if there are punishments and cruelty, there will be whirlwinds. If there are wrongful ordinances, there will be plagues of devouring insects. If there are unjust executions, the land will redden with drought. If there are unseasonable ordinances, 10 there will be great excess of rain. 3/19 / 13/14. The 4 seasons are the officers of heaven. The sun and moon are the agents of heaven. The stars and planets mark the appointed times of heaven. Rainbows and comets are the portents of heaven. 3/19 / 16/17. 3.4. Heaven has 9 fields and 9,999 junctures. It is 150,000 li distant from the earth. There are 5 planets, 8 winds, and 28 lunar lodges. There are 5 offices and 6 departments. The 6 departments are called the Purple Palace, the Great Enclosure, the Chariot Frame, 11. The Pool of Xian, 12. The 4 Guardians, and the Heavenly Slope. 3/19 / 1920. 3.5. What are the 9 fields? The central one is called Balanced Heaven. Its asterisms are horn, neck, and root 13. The eastern one is called Azure Heaven. Its asterisms are Room, Heart, and Tail. The northeastern one is called Variable Heaven. Its asterisms are Winnowing Basket, Dipper, and Ox Leader. The northern one is called Umbral Heaven. Its asterisms are Serving Maid, Emptiness, Rooftop, and Encampment. The northwestern one is called Secluded Heaven. Its asterisms are Eastern Wall, Stride, and Bond. The western one is called Luminous Heaven. Its asterisms are Stomach, Pleiades, and Net. The southwestern one is called Vermilion Heaven. Its asterisms are Turtle Beak, Triad, and Eastern Well. The southern one is called Fiery Heaven. Its asterisms are Ghost, Bearer, Willow, and Seven Stars. The southeastern one is called Yang Heaven. Its asterisms are Extension, Wings, and Chariot Platform. 3/19/2226. 3.6. What are the 5 planets? The east is wood. Its god is Tai Hao 14. His assistant is Gumag. He grasps the compass and governs spring. His spirit is Year Star, Jupiter. His animal is the blue-green dragon. His musical note is Ju. His days are Jia and Yi 15. The south is fire. Its god is Yadi 16. His assistant is Zedumig. He grasps the balance beam and governs summer. His spirit is sparkling. Deluder, Mars. His animal is the vermilion bird. His musical note is Zedi. His days are Bing and Ding. The center is Earth. Its god is the Yellow Emperor. His assistant is Hutu. He grasps the marking cord and governs the 4 quarters. His spirit is Quelling Star, Saturn. His animal is the Yellow Dragon. His musical note is Gong. His days are Wu and Ji. The west is metal. Its god is Sheohao. His assistant is Ruthenium Shu. He grasps the T-square and governs autumn. His spirit is Great White. Venus. His animal is the white tiger. His musical note is Shag. His days are Jeg and Z. The north is water. Its god is Zedwazu. His assistant is Zuamig. He grasps the weight and governs winter. His spirit is Chronograph Star. Mercury. His animal is the Dark Warrior. His musical note is U. His days are Ray and Gui. 3/20/16. 3.7. When Tai is in any of the 4 midpoints, the planet Jupiter passes through 3 of the lunar lodges. When Tai is in any of the 4 hooks, the planet Jupiter passes through 2 of the lunar lodges. 2 times 8 is 16, 17 3 times 4 is 12. 16 plus 12 equals 28. Therefore, in 12 years, Jupiter traverses all 28 lunar lodges. The average daily motion of Jupiter is approximately a 1/12 of a Chinese degree. In 1 year, Jupiter traverses 307/16d. In 12 years, Jupiter completes a circuit of the heavens. 3/20/810. 3.8. Mars normally enters the asterism Grand Enclosure in the 10th month. The corresponding state thereupon comes under its control. Then it emerges, passing through the lunar lodges in turn. Mars is in charge of states that lack the way. It causes disorder, causes violence, causes sickness, causes death, causes famine, and causes warfare. Its leavings and enterings, of lunar lodges, are irregular. Its color perceptibly varies. Its color is sometimes visible and sometimes unnoticeable. 3/20/1213. 3.9. On the day Jui, number 51, in the first year of the epoch, Saturn is in the lunar lodge, Dipper. Each year Saturn moves through one lunar lodge. If Saturn should be in a particular lunar lodge, but is not there, the state corresponding to that lodge will lose its land. If Saturn ought not yet to be in a particular lunar lodge, but already occupies it, the state corresponding to that lodge will increase its land and its crops will ripen. The average daily motion of Saturn is 1/28 of a Chinese degree. Its annual motion is 135/112 d. In 28 years it completes a circuit of the heavens. 3/20/1315. 3.10. In the first month, on the day Jui, in the first year of the epoch, Venus rises at dawn in the east in the lunar lodge, encampment. After 240 days, it disappears. It remains hidden for 120 days and then appears in the evening in the west. After 240 days, it disappears. After 35 days, it once again appears in the east. It appears in Chen or Zhu and disappears in Chu or Wei. When Venus should appear but does not appear, or should not yet disappear but does disappear, throughout the world armies will be withdrawn. When Venus should disappear but does not disappear, or should not yet appear but does appear, throughout the world armies will set forth on campaigns. 3/20/1518. 3.11. The movements of Mercury correspond exactly to the 4 seasons. Normally in the second month, at the spring equinox, it appears in the lunar lodges, Stride and Bond. In the 5th month, at the summer solstice, it appears in the lunar lodges, Eastern Well and Ghost Bearer. In the 8th month, at the autumn equinox, it appears in the lunar lodges, Horn and Neck. In the 11th month, at the winter solstice, it appears in the lunar lodges, Dipper and Ox Leader. Mercury appears in the chronograms, Chen or Zhu and disappears in Chu or Wei. It appears for 20 days and then disappears. At dawn it attends the sun in the east. In the evening it attends the sun in the west. If in any season it does not appear, that season will be unfortunate. If it does not appear for 4 seasons, throughout the world there will be famine. 3/20/2023. 3.12. What are the 8 winds? 45 days after the winter solstice arrives, the regular northeast wind arrives. 18. 45 days after the regular wind arrives, the brightly abundant east wind arrives. 45 days after the brightly abundant wind arrives, the clear bright southeast wind arrives. 45 days after the clear bright wind arrives, the sunshine south wind arrives. 45 days after the sunshine wind arrives, the cooling southwest wind arrives. 45 days after the cooling wind arrives, the chuffy west wind 19 arrives. 45 days after the chuffy wind arrives, the buzhao northwest wind 20 arrives. 45 days after the buzhao wind arrives, the broadly expansive north wind arrives. When the regular wind arrives, release those imprisoned for minor crimes and send away those foreign intruders who had been detained. When the brightly abundant wind arrives, rectify boundaries of fiefs and repair the fields. When the clear bright wind arrives, issue presents of silk cloth and send embassies to the lords of the land. When the sunshine wind arrives, confer honors on men of position and reward the meritorious. When the cooling wind arrives, report on the potency of the earth and sacrifice at the 4 suburbs. When the chuffy wind arrives, store away the suspended bells and hanging chimestows, cuy and selenium, stringed instruments must be unstrung. When the buzhao wind arrives, repair palaces and dwellings and improve dikes and walls. When the broadly extensive wind arrives, close up gates and bridges and execute punishments. 3/20//2530. 3.13. What are the 5 offices? That of the East is agriculture. That of the South is the military command. That of the West is public order. That of the North is public works. That of the Center is metropolitan affairs. 3/21/1. What are the 6 departments? They are Zawu, Kuwei, Yaishi, Meroyu, Chegzu, and Sahei. 21, 3/21/3. The Grand Enclosure is the hall of the Grand 122. The Purple Palace is the dwelling place of the Grand 1. Chariot Frame is the residence of the imperial concubine. The Pool of Xian is a park of water and fishes. The Heavenly Slope is the gate tower of the assembled spirits. The 4 guardians are those who bestow rewards and punishments. The Grand Enclosure governs the vermilion bird. 3/21/57. 3.14. The Purple Palace controls the dipper and turns to the left. The Sun moves 1d, in relation to the fixed stars, each time it makes a revolution across the heavens. At the winter solstice, the Sun is in the constellation Lofty Wolf Mountain. The Sun shifts 1d per day. Therefore, after it has traveled, at the summer solstice the Sun is in the constellation Ox Head Mountain. Then it turns back and, after traveling through, completes 1 year. 3/21/79. 3.15. At the beginning of a heavenly singularity epoch, the first civil month being established in Yin, the Sun and Moon together enter the 5th degree of the lunar lodge, encampment. 76 years after the beginning of the heavenly singularity epoch, the Sun and Moon again enter the 5th degree of encampment, without any remainder fraction. This is called an era. 20 eras make 1520 years, called a grand conclusion. After 3 grand conclusions, the Sun, Moon, and asterisms all recommence. In GOE 3/21/911. 3.16. The daily motion of the sun is 1d. Thus in a year there will be a surplus of a quarter d. Thus after 4 years, there will be an accumulation of 1461 days. And the fractional days will come together again to make a full day. Thus after 80 years, the days of the 60-day cycle will be repeated on the same days of the year. 3/21/1113, thus it is said 23 that Wu and Mercury are the 2 diametral chords. Kuyai, Chizi, Weishi, and Zuhei are the 4 hooks. Northeast is the binding chord 24 of returning accretion. Southwest is the binding chord of reverting yang. Southeast is the binding chord of perpetual ocean. Northwest is the binding chord of penetrating cleft. 3/21/1516. When the sun is at the winter solstice, the dipper points north. Exactly on the north-south marking chord line. The yin qi is at its maximum, and the yang qi begins to grow. Thus it is said that the winter solstice produces accretion 25. When the sun is at the summer solstice, the dipper points south. Exactly on the north-south marking chord line. The yang qi is at its maximum, and the yin qi begins to grow. Thus it is said that the summer solstice produces recession. When the yin qi is at its maximum, north is at its farthest extent from the sun. The northern limit penetrates down to the yellow springs. Hence one must not cut into the earth or bore wells. The myriad creatures are shut up in hibernation, and insects are head down in their burrows. Thus it is said that accretion is in the room. When the yang qi is at its maximum, south is at its farthest extent from the sun. The southern limit penetrates upward to the vermilion heaven. Hence one must not level hills or raise roof beams. The myriad creatures flourish and increase, and the 5 grains grow abundantly. Thus it is said that accretion is in the field. 3/21/1821. When the sun is at the winter solstice, fire follows it. When the sun is at the summer solstice, water follows it. Thus, in the 5th month, fire is at its maximum and water begins to seep out. In the 11th month, water is at its maximum and fire arises 26. Yang qi produces fire, yin qi produces water. Because water begins to be dominant, the summer solstice is damp. Because fire begins to be dominant, the winter solstice is parched. When the weather is parched, charcoal is light. When the weather is damp, charcoal is heavy. 3/21/2325. When the sun is at the winter solstice, wells are full of water and basins overflow. Goats shed their hair, deer's antlers fall away, and magpies nest. An 8-foot gnomon 27 casts a shadow 13 feet long. At noon, when the sun is at the summer solstice, the yellow floods enrich the fields, and mineral essences emerge from the soil. Cicadas begin to sing, and the half-summer herb grows. Flying insects do not bite foals and calves, and birds of prey do not seize nestlings. An 8-foot gnomon casts a shadow 1 foot and 5 inches, i.e., 1.5 feet, long, at noon. When the gnomon shadow is long, yin qi is dominant. When the gnomon shadow is short, yang qi is dominant. When the yin qi is dominant, there is water. When the yang qi is dominant, there is drought. 3:20 seconds /14. 3.17. Yin and yang, recession and accretion, have 7 habitations. What are these 7 habitations? They are the room, the hall, the court, the gate, the lane, the road, and the field. In the 11th month, accretion dwells in the room for 30 days, 15 days before the winter solstice, and 15 days after. Thereafter it shifts its place every 30 days. When accretion is in the room, recession is in the field. When accretion is in the hall, recession is in the road. When accretion is in the court, recession is in the lane. When yin and yang are of equal power, then recession and accretion are together in the gate. In the 8th month and the 2nd month, the qi of yin and yang is equal, and day and night are of equal length. Thus it is said that recession and accretion are together in the gate. When accretion is in the south, there is birth. When recession is in the south, there is death. Thus, at the meeting, in the gate, at the 2nd month, the myriad creatures come to life. At the meeting, in the gate, in the 8th month, the herbs and trees begin to die. 3:20 seconds /69. 3.18. Between the 2 binding cords is a span of the sun's daily motion. Being 1d, 15 days makes 1 node, J. Thus are produced 24 seasonal alterations. When the handle of the dipper points to Z, at midnight, it is the winter solstice node. Its sound is like the pitch pipe, yellow bell 28. After 15 days, the handle of the dipper at midnight points to Gui. This is the lesser cold node. Its sound is like the pitch pipe, responsive bell. After 15 more days, the handle of the dipper at midnight points to Chu. This is the greater cold node. Its sound is like the pitch pipe, tireless. After 15 more days, the handle of the dipper at midnight points to the binding cord of returning accretion, and there is a surplus of yin in the land. Thus it is said that the 46th day from the winter solstice marks the beginning of spring node, when the yang qi dispels the cold. Its sound is like the pitch pipe, southern regulator. After 15 more days, the handle of the dipper at midnight points to yin. This is the rain node. Its sound is like the pitch pipe, tranquil pattern. After 15 more days, the handle of the dipper at midnight points to Jia. This is the awakening of insects node. Its sound is like the pitch pipe, forest bell. After 15 more days, the handle of the dipper at midnight points to Mao. Thus it is said that the 46th day after the beginning of spring, 29, is called the spring equinox node. Thunder is abroad. Its sound is like the pitch pipe, luxuriant. After 15 more days, the handle of the dipper at midnight points to Yi. This is the node of the clear bright wind maximum. Its sound is like the pitch pipe, median regulator. After 15 more days, the handle of the dipper at midnight points to Chen. This is the grain rain node. Its sound is like the pitch pipe, maiden cleanliness. After 15 more days, the handle of the dipper at midnight points to the binding cord of perpetual ocean, and the portion of the year allotted to spring reaches its limit. Thus it is said that the 46th day after the spring equinox is the beginning of summer. Note the great wind's end. Its sound is like the pitch pipe, pinched bell. After 15 more days, the handle of the dipper at midnight points to Psi. This is the lesser fullness note. Its sound is like the pitch pipe, great budding. After 15 more days, the handle of the dipper at midnight points to Bing. This is the grain in ear note. Its sound is like the pitch pipe, great regulator. After 15 more days, the handle of the dipper at midnight points to Wu. Yang Kui reaches its maximum. Thus it is said that the 46th day after the beginning of summer marks the summer solstice. Note its sound is like the pitch pipe, yellow bell. After 15 more days, the handle of the dipper at midnight points to Ding. This is the lesser heat note. Its sound is like the pitch pipe, great regulator. After 15 more days, the handle of the dipper at midnight points to Wei. This is the great heat note. Its sound is like the pitch pipe, great budding. After 15 more days, the handle of the dipper at midnight points to the binding cord of reverting yang. Thus it is said that 46 days after the summer solstice is the beginning of autumn. Note this is the note of the cool wind maximum. Its sound is like the pitch pipe, pinched bell. After 15 more days, the handle of the dipper at midnight points to Shi. This is the end of heat note. Its sound is like the pitch pipe, maiden cleanliness. After 15 more days, the handle of the dipper at midnight points to Jeg. This is the descent of white dew note. Its sound is like the pitch pipe, median regulator. After 15 more days, the handle of the dipper at midnight points to U on the central marking line. Thus it is called the autumn equinox. Note thunder ceases, and swarming insects turn toward the north. Its sound is like the pitch pipe, luxuriant. After 15 more days, the handle of the dipper at midnight points to Z. This is the cold dew note. Its sound is like the pitch pipe, forest bell. After 15 more days, the handle of the dipper at midnight points to Zu. This is the descent of hoarfrost note. Its sound is like the pitch pipe, tranquil pattern. After 15 more days, the handle of the dipper at midnight points to the binding cord of perpetual cleft. Thus the portion of the year allotted to autumn comes to its end. Thus it is said that the 46th day after the autumn equinox is the beginning of winter. Note herbs, trees, and flowers die. Its sound is like the pitch pipe, southern regulator. After 15 more days, the handle of the dipper at midnight points to high. This is the lesser snow note. Its sound is like the pitch pipe, tireless. After 15 more days, the handle of the dipper at midnight points to Ray. This is the great snow note. Its sound is like the pitch pipe, responsive bell. After 15 more days, the handle of the dipper at midnight again points to Z. Therefore it is said that Yang is born in Z. Yin is born in Wu. Yang is born in Z. Therefore in the 11th month, the sun is at the winter solstice, magpies begin to nest, and human QE accumulates in the head. Yin is born in Wu. Therefore in the 5th month lesser punishments are carried out. Shepherd's purse and wheat stop growing and wither. The herbs and trees that sprouted in the winter must die. 3:20 /1129. 3.19. The handle of the dipper makes the lesser year. In the first, civil, month, the dipper is established in yin. The months move from the left through the 12 chronograms 30. The pool of Xian makes the greater year. The second month is established in Mao. The moon moves from the right through the 4 quadrants. When it finishes, it begins again. As for the greater year, one who faces it humiliated. One who turns away from it is strong. One who is on its left is in decline. One who is on its right attains glory. When the lesser year is in the southeast, there is birth. When it is in the northwest, there is death. This is what is meant by the saying. It must not be met, but it may be turned away from. It must not be to the left, but it may be to the right. 31, 3/23 /14. The great season is governed by the pool of Xian. The lesser season is that of the month establishments. The binding cords of heaven establish the epoch, which always begins with yin. Arising, Taishui, moves to the right for 1 year and then shifts. After 12 years, it completes a heavenly circuit and then begins again. 3/23 /67. In the winter of the first year of the king of Wire, the Grand 132 was in the cyclical year, Big Xi. The winter solstice was on the cyclical day, Jiwu. The node, beginning of spring, began on the cyclical day, Big Xi. 3/23 /9. 3.20. 1 yin and 1 yang make 2 QE. 2 yang and 1 yin make 3 QE. Combining these QE makes the pentatonic notes. Combining the yin makes yang. Combining this number with the yang makes the pitch pipes. Thus there are 5 notes and 6 pitch pipes. The notes double to produce the number of the days. The pitch pipes double to produce the earthly branches. Thus there are 10 days and 12 branches. 3/23 /1112. 3.21. The moon's daily motion is all lunar month is 29 and 499 /940 days. 12 months make a year. The tropic year is 10 and 827 /940 days longer than the lunar year. Hence in 19 years there are 7 intercalary months. 3/23 /1214. 3.22. The days of the winter solstice take the branches Zi and Wu. The days of the summer solstice take the branches Mao and Yu. Add in 3 days to the branches of the winter solstice yields the days of the summer solstice. The whole year shifts by 6 days and begins again with Riwu. At the winter solstice, the cyclical day, Jiazai receives control. The phase, wood is used in all affairs, and the smoke of fires is blue-grey. After 72 days, Bigzai receives control. The phase, fire is used in all affairs, and the smoke of fires is vermilion. After 72 days, Wuyuzi receives control. The phase, earth is used in all affairs, and the smoke of fires is yellow. After 72 days, Jegzi receives control. The phase, metal, is used in all affairs, and the smoke of fires is white. After 72 days, Rizi receives control. The phase, water, is used in all affairs, and the smoke of fires is black. After 72 more days, the year comes to an end, and Jagwu takes control. The year shifts by 6 days so that the number may extend to the full count of 366. After 10 years, the sequence begins again with Jiazai. When Jiazai is in control, act gently and graciously, and relax the many prohibitions. Open doors and covers, and penetrate barriers. It is prohibited to cut down trees. When Bigzai is in control, promote the worthy and the good, and reward the meritorious. Enfeoff nobles and distribute wealth. When Wuyuzi is in control, nourish the old and the widowed, distribute food, alms, and bestow grace and favor. When Jegzi is in control, improve walls and enclosures, strengthen city walls and fortifications, scrutinize prohibitions, with a view toward strengthening them, refurbish the armor of the troops, admonish officials, and punish the lawless. When Rizi is in control, shut doors and gates, investigate strangers, execute punishments, kill the condemned, command the people to rest within their gates and under the beams of their roofs, and prohibit wandering outside the city walls. 3/23/1623. The Qi of Jiazai is dry and turbid. The Qi of Bigzai is dry and bright. The Qi of Wuyuzi is damp and turbid. The Qi of Jegzi is dry and cold. The Qi of Rizi is clear and cold. 3/23/25. 3.23. When the day designated, Bigzai opposes the season governed by Jiazai, hibernating insects hatch forth prematurely, and there is unseasonably early thunder. When Wuyuzi opposes Jiazai, the pregnant suffer calamities, eggs are infertile, and birds and insects suffer great injuries. When Jegzi opposes Jiazai, there will be military operations. When Rizi opposes Jiazai, there will be spring frosts. When Wuyuzi opposes Bigzai, there will be claps of thunder. When Jegzi opposes Bigzai, there will be bolts of lightning. When Rizi opposes Bigzai, there will be hail. When Jiazai opposes Bigzai, there will be earthquakes. When Jegzi opposes Wuyuzi, the 5 grains will suffer calamities. When Rizi opposes Wuyuzi, there will be cold spells in summer, with rain and frost. When Jiazai opposes Wuyuzi, silkworms will not mature. When Bigzai opposes Wuyuzi, there will be great drought, aquatic grasses will dry out entirely. When Rizi opposes Jegzi, fish will not grow. When Jiazai opposes Jegzi, herbaceous plants and trees die and then sprout again. When Bigzai opposes Jegzi, herbaceous plants and trees bloom for a second time, out of season. When Wuyuzi opposes Jegzi, some of the annual harvest will preserved and some lost. When Jiazai opposes Rizi, creatures will not hibernate, as they should. When Bigzai opposes Rizi, there will be meteors. When Wuzi opposes Rizi, in winter insects depart from their places. When Jegzi opposes Rizi, there will be thunder in winter. 3/23//25 3/24//5 3.24 In the third, and final, month of spring, abundant thunder sounds forth, bringing in the rains. In the third, and final, month of autumn, the QE of earth has not yet become completely quiescent, and one gathers in the killed things 33 all. Crawling things become torpid and hide away, and country dwellers shut their gates. Grey woman 34 comes out and brings down frost and snow. Thus the QE of the 12 times of the year progress until they reach an end, again, in the second month of spring, when what has been stored away is received forth, again, and the cold is shut away. Then tranquil woman drums and sings to regulate the harmony of heaven and to make grow the 100 kinds of cereals, the beasts and birds, and the herbs and trees. In the first month of summer the crops ripen, the cries of pheasants and pigeons become prolonged, causing the emperor to look forward to the annual harvest. Thus, if heaven does not give forth yin, the myriad things cannot be born. If earth does not give forth yang, the myriad things cannot grow to maturity. Heaven is round. Earth is square. The way is exactly in the middle. The sun produces accretion. The moon produces paring away. When the moon reverts in its course, the myriad creatures die. When the sun attains its apogee, the myriad creatures are born. Separated from mountains, the QE of mountains is hidden away. Separated from water, aquatic insects become dormant. Separated from trees, leaves wither. When the sun is not seen for 5 days, the ruler will lose his throne. Even a ruler who is a sage cannot withstand this. 3/24/712 3.25 The sun rises up from the bright valley, bathes in the pool of Xian, and rests in the fusag tree. This is called dawn light. Ascending the fusag tree, it thereupon commences its journey. This is called emergent brightness. When the sun reaches the bent slope, this is called dawn brilliance. When the sun reaches the steaming spring, this is called the morning meal. When the sun reaches the mulberry field, this is called the late morning meal. When the sun reaches the balance beam of yang, this is called within the angle. When the sun reaches Kuwu, this is called the exact center. When the sun reaches the bird roost, this is called the lesser return. When the sun reaches the valley of grief, this is called the dinner hour. When the sun reaches women's sequence, this is called the great return. When the sun reaches the angle of the abyss, this is called the raised pestle. When the sun reaches carriage stone, this is called the descending pestle. When the sun reaches the fountain of grief, it halts, its female attendant rests her horses. This is called the suspended chariot. When the sun reaches the abyss of anxiety, this is called yellow dusk. When the sun reaches the veil of obscurity, this is called definite dusk. The sun enters the flood waters of the abyss of anxiety, sunrise. emerges from the drainage stream of the veil of obscurity. The sun travels over the 9 continents, passing through 7 resting places, covering a distance of 507,309 li. The divisions of its journey make dawn, daylight, dusk, and night. 3/24/1422. 3.26. At the summer solstice, yin begins to be ascendant over yang. For this reason, the myriad creatures come to an end and die. At the winter solstice, yang begins to be ascendant over yin. For this reason, the myriad creatures lift up their heads and come to life. Daylight is the portion of yang. Night is the portion of yin. Thus when the yang qi dominates, days are long and nights are short. When the yin qi dominates, days are short and nights are long. Appearing in Mao and Yu, at the equinoxes, yin and yang divide day and night equally. 3/24/24 3/25/2. Thus it is said that when the compass is born, the square dies. When the balance beam 35 is being set up, the weight 36 is hidden away. When the marking cord occupies the center, it marks out the foundation of the 4 seasons. 37, 3/25/1415. 3.27. The celestial theoc stretches out the 4 binding cords of heaven and employs the dipper to revolve through them. In a month it shifts by 1 chronogram, its location being successively displaced. In the first civil month, it points to yin, in the 11th month it points to zi. It completes a circle in 1 year, finishing, it begins again. In the first civil month, the dipper points to yin. The myriad creatures stir like earthworms underground. The pitch pipes take the note great budding. Great budding means that there are buds but they have not yet emerged. 38. In the second civil month, the dipper points to Mao. Mao means burgeoning, thus, living things burgeon forth. The pitch pipes take the note pinched bell. Pinched bell means that seeds first begin to swell. In the third civil month the dipper points to Chen. Chen means to stir up. The pitch pipes take the note maiden cleanliness. Maiden cleanliness means that what is withered is done away with and the new comes forth. In the fourth civil month the dipper points to Psi, fetus. There being a fetus, there is sure to be birth in consequence. The pitch pipes take the note median regulator. Median regulator means that the center grows large. In the fifth civil month the dipper points to Wu. Wu means to oppose. The pitch pipes take the note luxuriant. Luxuriant means that all is tranquil and fitting. In the sixth civil month the dipper points to Wei. Wei means flavor. The pitch pipes take the note forest bell. Forest bell means to extend forth and then stop. In the seventh civil month the dipper points to Shi. Shi means chanting. The pitch pipes take the note tranquil pattern. Tranquil pattern means that the pattern is changed. The force of accretion is expunged from the annual cycle. In the eighth civil month the dipper points to Yu. Yu means Satiety. The pitch pipes take the note southern regulator. Southern regulator means that it is recognized that the satiety is great. In the 9th civil month the dipper points to Zhu. Zhu means destruction. The pitch pipes take the note tireless. Tireless means that there is bringing in without satisfaction. In the 10th civil month the dipper points to high. High means hindrance. The pitch pipes take the note responsive bell. Responsive bell means to respond to the bell. In the 11th civil month the dipper points to Z. Z means black. The pitch pipes take the note yellow bell. Yellow bell means that the bell is beginning to be yellow. In the 12th civil month the dipper points to Chu. Chu means to tie. The pitch pipes take the note great regulator. Great regulator means to go out one after the other. 3/25/413. 3.28. Thus it is said, the way begins with one. One, alone, however, does not give birth. Therefore it divided into yin and yang. From the harmonious union of yin and yang, the myriad things were produced. Thus it is said, one produced two. Two produced three. Three produced the myriad things. 39. With regard to heaven and earth, 3 months make one season. Thus a sacrifice of 3 types or portions of cooked grains are used in mourning rites. The year continues for 3 shifts of seasons to make the seasonal nodes complete their cycle. Armies emphasize 3 signal flags in order to maintain control. 40. Using 3 to examine matters, 3 = 9. Thus the yellow bell pitch pipe is 9 inches long and harmonizes with the note gong. Furthermore, 9 = 81. Thus the number of the yellow bell is established therein. Yellow is the color of the potency of earth, the bell is that by which the seeds of Kui are sown. At the winter solstice the Kui of accretion produces earth, the color of earth is yellow. Thus the note of the winter solstice is called yellow bell. The number of pitch pipes is 6, classified as female and male, for a total of 12. Thus it is said there are 12 bells to act as adjuncts to the 12 months. Each of the 12 is based on 3. Thus if one sets up the number 1 and triples it 11 times, i.e., 311, the total is 177,147. The great number of the yellow bell is thereby revealed. 3/25/1723. 3.29. There are 12 pitch pipes. Yellow bell makes the note gong. Great budding makes the note shag. Maiden cleanliness makes the note ju. Forest bell makes the note zi. Southern regulator makes the note u. Matters are brought to completion by means of 3. Notes are established as, altogether, 5. 3 + 5 = 8. Creatures born from eggs have 8 bodily orifices. This was the beginning of the pitch pipes. The ancients recorded the sounds of the phoenix, therefore the notes are born from 8. 3/25/2325. Yellow bell makes the note gong. Gong is the sovereign of the notes. Thus yellow bell is established in Z, its number is 81, and it governs the 11th month. Descending, yellow bell, produces forest bell. The number of forest bell is 54, 81 2/3, it governs the 6th month. Ascending, great budding is produced. Its number is 72, 54 4/3, it governs the 1st month. Descending, southern regulator is produced. Its number is 48, 72 2/3, it governs the 8th month. Ascending, maiden cleanliness is produced. Its number is 64, 48 4/3, it governs the 3rd month. Descending, responsive bell is produced. Its number is 42, 64 2/3, it governs the 10th month. Ascending, luxuriant is produced. Its number is 57, 42 4/3 plus 1. It governs the 5th month. Ascending, great regulator is produced. Its number is 76, 57 4/3, it governs the 12th month. Descending, tranquil pattern is produced. Its number is 51, 76 2/3, it governs the 7th month. Ascending, pinched bell is produced. Its number is 68, 51 4/3, it governs the 2nd month. Descending, tireless is produced. Its number is 45, 68 2/3, it governs the 9th month. Ascending, median regulator is produced. Its number is 60, 45 4/3, it governs the 4th month. Beyond this limit, nothing further is produced. 3/26 Those pipes that descend are created by multiplying the previous pipe's number by 2/3. Those pipes that ascend are created by multiplying the previous pipe's number by 4/3. 41, 3/26 3.30 Gong produces Zi, Zi produces Shag, Shag produces Yu, Yu produces Ju, Ju produces maiden cleanliness. Maiden cleanliness produces 42 responsive bell. Responsive bell is comparable 43 to the fundamental note, i.e., yellow bell, and thus produces harmony. Responsive bell produces luxuriant. Luxuriant is not comparable to the fundamental note and thus produces discord. At the winter solstice, the note is like forest bell in a flattened tone. At the summer solstice, the note is like yellow bell in a clear tone. 44. The 12 pitch pipes respond to the alterations of the 24 seasonal nodes. At Zi, median regulator moves to Zi. At Big Zi, pinched bell moves to U. At Wu Xing, yellow bell moves to Gong. At Jegzi, tireless moves to Shag. At Rizi, tranquil pattern moves to Ju. 3/26 3.31 In ancient times, weights and measures were created, lightness and heaviness were born from the way of heaven. The length of the yellow bell pitch pipe is 9 inches. All things are produced by virtue of 3. 3 3 equals 9. 3 9 equals 27. Thus the width of a standard bolt of cloth is 2 feet, 7 inches 45. This is the ancient standard. There are shapes, thus there are also musical sounds. The musical notes are mutually produced by means of the number 8. Thus the span of a man's arms measures 4 feet. A zun is double this length, thus 8 feet make 1 zun. A zun is the height of an average man 46. The number of the notes is 5. Using 5 to calculate in terms of 8, 5 8 equals 40. Thus 4 zhang make 1 pi 47, therefore 1 pi is used as the standard unit in the cloth tax administration. At the autumn equinox, the beards of grain husks are fully grown. When the beards of the husks are fully grown, the grain ripens. The number of the pitch pipes is 12. Thus, the width of 12 husk beards, laid side by side, equals 1 fen 48. The pitch pipes correspond to the chronograms. The pentatonic notes correspond to the sun. The number of the sun is 10. Thus 10 fen make 1 inch, 10 inches make 1 foot, and 10 feet make 1 zhang. For those units used to measure weight, 12 millet grains make 1 fen. 12 fen make 1 zedu. 12 zedu make 1/2 ounce. Ban Liang. 49. The balance beam has a left side and a right side. Therefore, doubling the weight, 24 zedu make 1 ounce. Heaven has 4 seasons, completing 1 year. Therefore, reckoning by 4s, 4 4 equals 16. Therefore 16 ounces make 1 kati. 3. Months make a season, and 30 days, a month. Therefore 30 katis make 1 June. 4 seasons make 1 year, therefore 4 June make 1. Dan 50. 4 units of musical measurement, 1 pitch pipe produces 5 tones, 12 pitch pipes produce 60 tones. Therefore, reckoning by 6s, 6 6 equals 36. Therefore, 360 tones correspond to the days of 1 year. Thus the number of notes of the pitch pipes and days of the calendar are in accord with the way of heaven and earth. 3/26 /1324. 3.32. The beginning of the Jovian cycle is established in Jiui. After one completion, it begins again, established in Jiexu. After 2 completions, it begins again, established in Jiwu. After 3 completions, it returns to its beginning in Jiui. The year's annual shift is 1 chronogram. After the seasonal node beginning of spring, it attains its proper annual location by shifting its position away from the previous one. When it has moved forward 3 places and back 5, then all matters may be taken in hand. 3/26 /2627. Where Tai is established, insects lie head down in their burrows and stay quietly in them. Magpies nest in the countryside and make their homes. When Tai is in Yin, the vermilion bird is in Mao, the hooked array is in Zi, the dark warrior is in Zhu, the white tiger is in Yu, the blue-grey dragon is in Chen. If Yin is the establishing chronogram, then Mao is removal, Chen is fullness, Sai is evenness, governing birth, Wu is fixedness, Wei is holding firm, governing pitfalls, Shi is breaking, governing the balance beam. Yu is danger, governing the ladle, Zhu is completion, governing minor potency, Hai is receiving, governing great potency, Z is opening, governing Tai Sui, Chu is closing, governing 51. 3/27/14. 3.33. When Tai is in Yin, the year is called Shitaij 52. The male, mate, of Tai is Jupiter. It dwells in the lunar lodges, Dipper and Ox Leader. In the 11th 53 month, it rises with them in the east at dawn. The lodges Eastern Well and Ghost Bearer are opposite, i.e., setting in the west at dawn. When Tai is in Mao, the year is called Migi 54. Jupiter dwells in Serving Maid, Emptiness, and Rooftop. In the 12th month, it rises with them in the east at dawn. Willow, 7 stars, and Extension are opposite. When Tai is in Chen, the year is called Zedixu. Jupiter dwells in Encampment and Eastern Wall. In the first month, it rises with them in the east at dawn. Wings and Chariot platform are opposite. When Tai dwells in Sai, the year is called Dahuiluo. Jupiter dwells in Stride and Bond. In the second month, it rises with them in the east at dawn. Horn and Neck are opposite. When Tai is in Wu, the year is called Dazag. Jupiter dwells in Stomach, Pleiades, and Net. In the third month, it rises with them in the east at dawn. Root, Room, and Heart are opposite. When Tai is in Wei, the year is called Ziexia. Jupiter dwells in Turtle. Beak and Alignment. In the fourth month, it rises with them in the east at dawn. Tail and Winnowing Basket are opposite. When Tai is in Shi, the year is called Tutor. Jupiter dwells in Eastern Well and Ghost Bearer. In the fifth month, it rises with them in the east at dawn. Dipper and Ox Leader are opposite. When Tai is in Yu, the year is called Tuoi. Jupiter dwells in Willow, 7 stars, and Extension. In the sixth month, it rises with them in the east at dawn. Serving Maid, Emptiness, and Rooftop are opposite. When Tai is in Zu, the year is called Yamao. Jupiter dwells in Wings and Chariot platform. In the seventh month, it rises with them in the east at dawn. Encampment and Eastern Wall are opposite. When Tai is in Hai, the year is called Dewixia. Jupiter dwells in Horn and Neck. In the eighth month, it rises with them in the east at dawn. Stride and Bond are opposite. When Tai is in Zi, the year is called Kudu. Jupiter dwells in Root, Room, and Heart. In the ninth month, it rises with them in the east at dawn. Stomach, Pleiades, and Net are opposite. When Tai is in Chu, the year is called Chifaruo. Jupiter dwells in Tail and Winnowing Basket. In the 10th month, it rises with them in the east at dawn. Turtle Beak and Alignment are opposite. 3/27/4/418. 3.34. When Tai is in Jiazai, 55 Recision and accretion are harmoniously together. In the eastern, celestial, palace. In their normal movements, which cannot be overcome, they are together for 4 years and then part. They remain parted for 16 years and then come together again. As for the reason why they part, Recision cannot enter the central palace but moves into wood, in the place where Tai dwells. The day causes accretion. The chronograms cause Recision. With accretion, the number of unyielding days naturally doubles. because pliant days cannot overcome them. With precision. The chronograms, associated with water move to wood. The chronograms, associated with wood move to water. Metal and fire stay in their designated places. Generally, Tai moves through the directional gods, as follows. The vermilion bird is 1 place ahead of Tai. The hooked array is 3 places behind. The dark warrior is 5 places ahead. The white tiger is 6 places behind. The empty star carries the hooked array, and heaven and earth are in accord with this. 3/27 / 1822. Of the days, i.e., the heavenly stems, Jia is unyielding, Yi is pliant. Bing is unyielding, Ding is pliant, and so on to Gui. Wood is born in Hai, matures in Mao, and dies in Wei. These 3 chronograms together are wood. Fire is born in Yin, matures in Wu, and dies in Zhu. These 3 chronograms together are fire. Earth is born in Wu, matures in Zhu, and dies in Yin. These 3 chronograms together are earth. Metal is born in Sai, matures in Yu, and dies in Chu. These 3 chronograms together are metal. Water is born in Shi, matures in Zi, and dies in Chen. These 3 chronograms together are water. Thus, as for the 5 overcomings, if birth occurs in step 1, then maturity occurs in step 5, and death occurs in step 9, in any sequence of the earthly branches. 5 9 equals 45. Thus the directional gods shift 1 place every 45 days. Taking 3 and responding with 5, there are thus 8 such shifts, and the year comes to an end. In using Tai for prognostication, as a rule, whatever is to its left, that is, ahead of it, suffers cutting away. Whatever is to its right, that is, behind it, obtains increase. 56. As for the chronogram that suspends the hooked array in the balance beam, if there is war, the state associated with that chronogram certainly will be victorious. If there is an assault, it must succeed. 3/27 / 2429. 3.35. If one wishes to know the way of heaven, one takes the sun as the ruling factor. In the 6th month, it matches the lunar lodge, heart. Rotating leftward, it moves, dividing the celestial circle, and making the 12 months. When they accord with the movements of the sun, heaven and earth are doubly in accord. Thereafter, there can be no calamitous asterisms. 3/27 / 2930. The first month is established in encampment and eastern wall. 57. The second month is established in stride and bond. The third month is established in stomach and Pleiades. The fourth month is established in net, turtle beak, and alignment. The fifth month is established in eastern, well and ghost bearer. The sixth month is established in willow, 7 stars, and extension. The seventh month is established in wings and chariot platform. The 8th month is established in horn, neck, and root. The 9th month is established in room and heart. The 10th month is established in tail and winnowing basket. The 11th month is established in dipper and ox leader. The 12th month is established in emptiness and rooftop. 3/28 The angular extensions of the stars in the lunar lodges are as follows. Horn, 12D serving maid, 12D turtle beak, 12D. Neck, 9D emptiness, 10D alignment, 9D. Root, 15D rooftop, 17D, eastern, well, 30D. Room, 5D encampment, 16D ghost bearer, 4D. Heart, 5D eastern wall, 9D willow, 15D. Tail, 18D stride, 16D, 7, stars, 7D. Winnowing basket, 11.25D bond, 12D extension, 18D. Dipper, 26D stomach, 14D wings, 18D. Ox leader, 8D Pleiades, 11D chariot platform, 17D. Net, 16D, 3/28 The stars, equals lunar lodges, are apportioned to territories, namely horn and neck to Zedg, root, room, and heart to Song, tail and winnowing basket to Ye, dipper and ox leader to Yu, serving maid to Wu, emptiness and rooftop to Kui, encampment and eastern wall to Wei, stride and root to Lu, stomach, Pleiades, and net to Wei, turtle beak and alignment to Zedao, eastern, well and ghost bearer to Kui, willow, 7 stars, and extension to Zedu, wings and chariot platform to Chu. 3/28 When Jupiter dwells in a lodge corresponding to a state, in that state, the 5 grains will be bountiful. The situation of the state corresponding to the lodge, opposite will be the reverse, the harvest will suffer calamity. If Jupiter should dwell in a lodge, and does not dwell there, if it skips over and enters another place, the ruler of the country governed by that lodge will die and his state will be extinguished. 3/28 3.36 When Tai controls the ordinances of spring, the ruler should act in a way that is pliant, kind, mild, and good. When Tai controls the ordinances of summer, the ruler should publish, bestow, proclaim, and make clear. When Tai controls the ordinances of autumn, the ruler should repair, put in order, and make ready his troops. When Tai controls the ordinances of winter, the ruler should be fiercely brave and resolute and harden the frontier defenses. In every 3-year period, there is an alteration of what is usual. In every 6-year period, there are changes from what is normal. Thus, within 3 years, there is a year of famine. Within 6 years, there is a year of depression. Once in 12 years, there is abundance. 3/28 3.37 The territorial allotments of the celestial stems are as follows. Jia with Kui, Ji with Ha. Yi with Eastern, Yi Keg with Kui. Bing with Chu, Zi with Western, Yi. Ding with Southern, Yi Rei with Wei. Wu with Wei, Gui with Yu. The territorial allotments of the earthly branches are as follows. Zi with Zedu, Wu with Kui. Chu with Di, Wei with Song. Yin with Chu, Shi with Kui. Mao with ZQ with Lu. Chen with Jizu with Zedao. Sai with Wei, Hai with Yo. 3/22 The stem and branch correlations of the 5 phases are as follows. Stems, branches, phases. Jia and Yin and Mao would Bing and Ding Sai and Wu fire. Wu and Kai the 4 seasons earth. Jek and Zi Shi and Yu metal. Ray and Gui Hai and Zi water. 3/28/26-27. 3.38. Water produces wood, wood produces fire, fire produces earth, earth produces metal, metal produces water. If the child gives birth to the mother, this is called rightness. If the mother gives birth to the child, this is called fostering. If the mother and child each give rise to the other, this is called concentration. If the mother vanquishes the child, this is called control. If the child vanquishes the mother, this is called obstruction. If one employs victory to smite and kill, the victory will be without recompense. If one employs concentration to pursue affairs, there will be achievement. If one employs rightness to carry out fixed principles, one's fame will be established and it will not diminish. If one employs fostering to nurture the myriad creatures, there will be luxuriant growth and prosperity. If one employs obstruction to pursue affairs, there will be destruction, extermination, death, and extinction of the state. 3/28/26-29. 3.39. The gods of the northern Dipper are both female and male. In the 11th month, at the beginning of the year, they are established together, in Z. Every month they shift by 1 chronogram. The male goes leftward, the female rightward. In the 5th month they coincide in Wu and devise rescission. In the 11th month they coincide in Z and devise accretion. 3/29/12. 3.40. The chronogram in which Tai is located 58 is called an oppressive day. On oppressive days it is not possible to pursue the 100 normal affairs. Earth and heaven 59 move with slow dignity. The male knows the female by the sound of her singing. Thus, the chronogram in which Tai is located is known as the extraordinary chronogram. 3/29/23. The numbers of the sexagenary cycle begin with Jiazai. Offspring and mother seek each other out. The place where they come together is called a concurrence. 10 stems and 12 branches make a sexagenary cycle. In all there are 8 concurrences. If the concurrence is at a point in the cycle, before the stem-branch combination in which Tai is located, there will be death and destruction. If the concurrence is later in the cycle, there will be no calamity. 3/29/56. The territorial allocations of the 8 concurrences are as follows. Jiaksu is Yagegchis Kui. Yu is Kui Zamao is the Rog tribes. Bigwu is Urizi is the Dai tribes. Diksai is Chugahe is the Hu tribes. The territorial allocations of the lesser conjunction cyclical pairs are as follows: 60. Wush is. Yu is. Wuxu is. Yumero is Wei. Yuzi is. Wu is. Yuhei is Ha Wuzi is. The 8 concurrences, together with the 8 lesser conjunctions, thus correspond to the world. 3/29/810. When Tai, the lesser year, the asterisms, equals lunar lodges, the branches, the stems, and the 5 directional gods all coincide on the same day, there will be clouds, vapors, and rain. The state and ruler. Match, the prognostication. 3/29 / 12. 3.41. Of those prized by the heavenly spirits, none is more prized than the blue-grey dragon. The blue-grey dragon is otherwise called the heavenly unity, or otherwise Tai. The country corresponding to the place where Tai dwells cannot retreat but can advance. The country corresponding to the place beaten against by the northern dipper cannot withstand attack. 3/29 / 1415. When heaven and earth were founded, they divided to make yin and yang. Yang is born from yin. Yin is born from yang. They are in a state of mutual alternation. The four binding cords of heaven communicate with them. Sometimes there is death. Sometimes there is birth. Thus are the myriad things brought to completion. Of all creatures that move and breathe, none is more prized than humans. The bodily orifices, limbs, and trunk all communicate with heaven. Heaven has 9 layers, man also has 9 orifices. Heaven has 4 seasons, to regulate the 12 months. Man also has 4 limbs, to control the 12 joints. Heaven has 12 months, to regulate the 360 days. Man also has 12 joints, to regulate the 360 nodes 61. A person who undertakes affairs while not obeying heaven is someone who deviates from what gave birth to him. 3/29 / 1720. 3.42. Take the arrival of the winter solstice and count to the first day of the first month of the coming year. If there are a full 50 days, the people's food supply will be sufficient. If there are fewer than 50 days, the people's rations will be reduced by 1 pint per day. If there is a surplus above 50, the people's rations will be increased by 1 pint per day. This is what controls the harvest. 3/29 / 2223. The year Shitij, a year of early moisture and late drought. Rice. Plants are sickly and silkworms do not mature. Legumes and wheat flourish. The people's food ration is 4 pints of grain per day. Yin India is called impeded seedlings. The year Migi : the year is harmonious. Rice, legumes, wheat, and silkworms flourish. The people's food ration is 5 pints. Mao in Yi is called flag sprouts. The year Zedixu, a year of early drought and late moisture. There is minor famine. Silkworms are obstructed, and wheat ripens. The people's food ration is 3 pints. Chen in Bing is called pliant omen. The year Dahuiluo, a year of minor warfare. Silkworms mature in small numbers, wheat flourishes, and legumes are sickly. The people's food ration is 2 pints. Sai Ding is called strengthen the frontier. The year Duzag, a year of great drought. Silkworms mature, rice is sickly, and wheat flourishes, but the crops do not yield. The people's food ration is 2 pints. Wu in Wu is called manifestly harmonious. The year Xiexia, a year of minor warfare. Silkworms mature, rice flourishes, and legumes and wheat do not yield. The people's food ration is 3 pints. Wei Inji is called differentiate and separate. The year tutor, the year is harmonious. The lesser rains fall in season. Silkworms mature, legumes and wheat flourish. The people's food ration is 3 pints. Shi Injeg is called elevate and make manifest. The year Tuo a year of great war. People suffer illness, silkworms do not mature, legumes and wheat do not yield, and crops suffer insect damage. The people's food ration is 5 pints. Huainanzi is called redoubled brightness. The year Yamao, a year of minor famine and warfare. Silkworms do not mature, wheat does not yield, but legumes flourish. The people's food ration is 7 pints. Zuin Ray is called umbral blackness. The year Daoist, a year of great warfare and great famine. Silkworms rupture their cocoons, legumes and wheat do not yield, crops suffer insect damage. The people's food ration is 3 pints. Haiyan Gui is called 62. The year Kudu, a year of great fogs rising up and great waters issuing forth. Silkworms, rice, and wheat flourish. The people's food ration is 3 bushels. Zinjia is called dawning brilliance. The year Chifaruo, a year of minor warfare and early moisture. Silkworms do not hatch. Rice plants are sickly, legumes do not yield, but wheat flourishes. The people's food ration is 1 pint. Chuan Yi is called 63, 3/29 / 3/31 / 8. 3.43. To establish the directions of sunrise and sunset, first set up a gnomon in the east. Take one other gnomon, and step back 10 paces from the first gnomon. Use it to sight in alignment toward the sun when it first emerges at the northern edge of its position on the eastern horizon. When the sun is just setting, again plant 1 gnomon to the east of the second gnomon, and use the gnomon to the west of it to sight in alignment toward the sun when it sets at the northern edge. Then establish the midpoint of the 2 eastern gnomons, this along with the western gnomon fixes a true east-west line. At the winter solstice, the sun rises at the southeastern binding cord and sets at the southwestern binding cord. At the spring and autumn equinoxes, it rises exactly in the east and sets exactly in the west. At the summer solstice, the sun rises at the northeastern binding cord and sets at the northwestern binding cord. At the zenith it is exactly in the south. 3/31 / 1014. 3.44. If you wish to know the numerical values for the east, west and north, south, breadth and length of the earth, set up 4 gnomons to form a square 1 li on each side. 10 or a few more days before the spring or autumn equinox, use the 2 gnomons on the northern edge of the square to sight in alignment on the rising sun when it first appears above the horizon. Wait until the day when the gnomons coincide with the rising sun. When they coincide, then this corresponds to the true east position of the sun. Then immediately also use the south, west, gnomon to sight on the sun in alignment. Take the amount by which this sighting is within the forward nomans as the standard. Divide the width and length between the nomans, i.e., 1 li, by this, and from this you will know the numerical value of the width of the earth from east to west. For example, observe the alignment of the southwestern noman with the rising sun to be 1 inch within the forward nomans, and let 1 inch equate to 1 li. 1 li equals 18,000 inches, so the distance from the point of observation eastward to the sun is 18,000 li. Or, on the same day, observe the setting sun. The alignment of the sun with the southeastern noman lies 1/2 inch within the forward nomans. For 1/2 inch, one obtains 1 li. Divide the number of inches in 1 li by 1/2 inch, one obtains the answer of 36,000 li. Thus one obtains the numerical value of the distance from the point of observation westward to the sun. Add the two figures together for the numerical value of the distance from east to west. This number represents the span between the extreme end points of the earth. If the alignment of the nomans on the northern edge of the square occurs before the spring equinox or after the autumn equinox, you are to the south of the midline of the earth. If the alignment occurs before the autumn equinox or after the spring equinox, you are to the north. If the alignment occurs exactly on the equinox, then you are midway between north and south. If you wish to know true south from a position in the exact center, observe that, if the alignment of the nomans on the northern edge of the square does not occur before the autumn equinox, the position is exactly between north and south. If you wish to know the distance to the extreme limits of south and north from a position in the center, use the southwestern noman to sight in alignment on the sun. When the sun at the summer solstice first rises, sight on the north-west noman, and you will see that the sun is an equal distance to the east, aligned with the northeastern noman. The distance to the east is 18,000 li, so the distance from the center to the north is also 18,000 li. Double this to obtain the numerical value of the distance from south to north. The amount by which a position departs from the center is larger or smaller, proportional to the amount by which the sight line is within or outside the forward nomans. If that line is 1 inch inside the nomans, the sun is closer by 1 li. If the line is 1 inch outside the nomans, the sun is more distant by 1 li. 3/31 / 1524. 3.45. If you wish to know the height of heaven, plant a noman 1 jang, i.e. 10 feet, tall in the south, and another, in the north, at a distance of 1,000 li. Measure their shadows, at noon, on the same day. Suppose that the northern noman casts a shadow of 2 feet, and the southern noman casts a shadow of 1 foot, 9 inches. Thus by going 1,000 li to the south, the shadow is shortened by 1 inch 64. Going 20,000 li to the south, there would be no shadow. That would be directly beneath the sun. A shadow 2 feet long results from a height of 10 feet, so going south 1 li increases the height by 5 li. Thus if One measures the li from the northern noman to a point directly beneath the sun and then multiplies that by 5, it makes 100,000 li, and that is the height of heaven. Or if you suppose that the length of the shadow is equal to the height of the noman, then the height of heaven would be equal to the distance southward to a point directly beneath the sun. 65, 330 seconds /14.